specific episode, and we're gonna talk about
Loose. We're talking about Loose.
Loose, the Nelly Furtado album that came out in 2006.
June 2006. So it was a summer album.
And it's technically a bilingual album, which we don't really see often.
Yeah, she is kind of like I wouldn't say like our Britney, but like she was like pop. She started off as like a folky pop, I'm Like a Bird, which I guess is very Canadian.
Yeah, especially back then. Yeah.
Before Taylor Swift went pop with 1989, which we will get to.
Yes,
Nelly Furtado went pop with Loose.
Exactly. I think this album is especially known because it's produced by Timbaland. Or it's known that it's produced by Timbaland because you hear him on the record as well.
To me, this album is groundbreaking. It's a blueprint for Fergie's The Duchess album, for Britney's Blackout, which is the Bible.
Yeah, one of the best pop records for sure. It's important to say that it was at the height of Timbaland.
Yes.
If you were produced by Timbaland at that time...
Wait, is it at its height? Because I don't think the Justin Timberlake album came out after this.
Yeah, but I mean, they normally have like a producers like a 6 to 7 max, even that's generous, year span, right? Where they're like the big producers and then they fade away. Yeah. We can think of Timbaland as much as we can think of Jermaine Dupri, or every new, even like DJ Khaled, it's gonna go down one day, and probably it's starting to go down, and that's just normal because music is a phase, isn't it? So
Timbaland's really well known before Nelly Furtado for producing Aaliyah's second and third album, which were
sure, but it's not. It was never as commercially successful as
and also
Loose.
Missy Elliott stuff as well.
Yes.
Because his first album was Shock Value, which was released after this.
So there's also some tricky stuff with Timbaland that we can talk about.
Which is
okay. So on this album, just so we're clear, like there's like Promiscuous, Man Eater, Say It Right, whatever. Yeah. We're gonna talk about these songs later, but these songs specifically, if you listen to them, you hear him beatboxing, right? So like a lot of the beat, he does it himself. The reason why he does it himself is because it's his signature. But also he gets performing rights because he's a performer on the record. And if you look at the producers that worked on this album, it's a long list. For me, it's always a red flag because it's almost like, does that mean that every song is going to have a different flavor because it's produced by different people? But I don't feel that way for this album. Probably someone like Timbaland oversaw the full production. It's incredible the amount of producers that worked on this album.
If you look at the list of producers, I'm assuming that there is maybe about 18.
Right?
But yeah, no, this was a big album for Nelly. It was also kind of controversial because she was known to be very folky, as we were saying before, and very dressed down, baggy jeans, and sort of covered up. And again, she kind of showed a little bit of stomach in her arms, and she was a lot more sexual within the album, which I guess every female artist kind of has that album,
especially at that time. It was very sexualized.
Yeah, and I think
industry
in comparison to other female albums that Christina Aguilera's Stripped or Britney Spears's
it's
Britney album
to that, right?
Or the Janet album, it's nothing that bad. She was very conservative and with whatever she was wearing and the way she looked, but I guess it was a lot more sexual than what people were used to seeing her as. Yeah, it was a big thing in Canadian media, and listening to this album again for this podcast, the album holds up still to this day. There's a lead single. There's the first single that Wikipedia says is a Spanish song, or is it Portuguese?
No, it's Spanish.
Yes. That was released April 11th, but Promiscuous was released a week after. So what did you think when that song came out and hearing Nelly Furtado and knowing what she was before?
I was obsessed with that song.
Really?
Okay. I didn't know her too much before that.
Yeah.
I thought the video was good. Yeah. I don't think it revolutionized the industry. But it just sat well. Almost like Ariana Grande sits well in the industry right now. Okay. It sat right where it should have been.
Exactly. And at the time, you didn't see it revolutionizing the industry or what a female album sounds like. It wasn't that at that time. But looking back at it and just looking at the date of when it was released compared to the other albums that have come after, it did.
Yeah.
I didn't like Promiscuous at the at the beginning. I thought it was annoying.
Yeah.
After a couple singles released, then I became obsessed with it. But this album wasn't something I obsessed over as soon as it came out.
Oh, I did.
And I also didn't like at the time that it was like a conversation between her and Timberland in the verses. Almost.
Yes, at the beginning. Yeah.
Like I just felt I was like, oh, it's just like I didn't like it at the beginning, but again, now I can see for what it is. Like it's a great song. If I'm in the club and this song comes on, I'm commending the DJ for putting it on at the song, because it's a song that really does get you going, and production is
really, really good. All the album is. Yeah. And then there was Man-Eater.
Man-Eater. To me,
I love that song.
Is the best song on the album.
I guess it's after Promiscuous, one of the most like commercially successful song on the album, perhaps. I think Say It Right is a really, really good song.
So Say It Right is the third single.
The third or fourth if you count No Hay Igual.
When I heard that song, I was like, what the F am I listening to right now?
Right.
I actually remember I was in the car with my brother and his girlfriend, now his wife, and we were driving to the beach, and this song came on, and I think I may have like shit myself. Like it was I was like, what am I listening to? And it also felt like alien at the time because of like what Timberland does with his voice. Though also
the chorus is so good.
It's so good. And the soundscape that she sort of builds in that, like, it just feels like a dream almost.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's like, really good. Yeah.
There's so many songs that came after that, which was produced by Timberland.
Exactly.
That sound exactly like
the same,
it. Yep. Also, Say It Right's a very interesting composed song because it doesn't have a bridge.
I don't know. Yeah.
It has it's verses, chorus, versus chorus, maybe and then just chorus.
Different. What I'm gonna say is gonna sound like extremely trashy. I'm a big fan of Girlicious.
Who?
Girlicious.
I don't know them. I don't know her. Sorry.
All right. So there was this show on the CW channel.
I know who you're talking about.
All right. Okay. Thank you. It was like a cheap ass version of
Pussycat Dolls.
No,
it was a Robin Anton
of Making the Band. It was like a cheap ass version of Making the Band, right?
Okay.
Instead of going for 3 seasons, they recorded that in 2 weeks. And obviously, Nelly was produced by Geffen Records at the time. So did Girlicious and the Pussycat Dolls and Gwen Stefani, like the biggest artists. They were under Geffen Records.
Yeah.
So this show obviously was to promote. Nelly was huge back then. She visited them in their house.
Did she?
Yes, and it's all like set up. It looks like a studio, whatever.
Of course, yeah.
Right? At the end, the final show, there's Natalie, who sang
the blonde one.
No. The slutty one, brown hair, and I'm not having a go. That's how like they branded her.
Yeah,
like they were like in the show, they were like, you're a bit slutty for this. Like it's a kids thing, and then she's like, but I'm very sexual, whatever. Like I'm not having a go. Like this is how like they described her, right? So there was Natalie, and she sang "Say It Right" at the final like show. And honestly, she's not a good singer. She sung that song really, really well, but like very like she had a slutty take on it.
Okay.
All of that to say, it was very interesting to hear like a different version from the one we were very used to.
Yeah. What do you think Say It Right's about?
I don't know.
It's one of these songs I don't quite like. I'm assuming it's a breakup. Like it was a song that like, do you remember MSN Messenger?
Yeah.
And then you could put like what you were listening to, but also put like a quote or something.
Oh yeah, and that was cryptic. Like Oh yeah.
And I put the lyric from the song. Yeah, and I remember dating this guy that I guess we would date, but then like he wasn't out at the time, so
you can say messages.
Exactly. So I put like you don't mean anything to me, but you have what it takes to set me. Oh God, it was so dramatic. Yeah, Say It Right was huge.
Say It Right was huge. Like, and she was wearing that hair when she visited the girls in Girlicious. Yeah. And can we do a full episode on Girlicious, please?
We might have to do like a
love them. Yes, if we're doing one for Kelly Clarkson, we're doing it for Girlicious.
Sure.
I will. Fucking love them. I will. Just, and I'll tell you what. I'm sure we can interview one of them, but via Skype.
If you could do it, then go for it. I will get all on it, and I will also kiss her ass.
They can't be that busy. I'm sorry if you're listening. You're not busy. Call us.